What's up? I know March solar was for sure, which helped get our electric bill down to less than £2, so stick around to find out more. Hi, welcome back. So it looks like March has been an exceptional month for solar production, so let's have a quick run through my stats for this month and see how we performed. We've also got a small update on how we're getting on with the heat pump, which is due to start next month. Just to give a quick system overview, we've got 18 440 watt Aiko all black panels giving us an 8 kilowatt peak. These are fitted with 10 Tigo optimisers only to the north and south panels at the rear of the house. These are linked back to an 8 kilowatt Sunsynk hybrid inverter, a 15.5 kilowatt hour Fogstar battery, and we've got a 7 kilowatt Zappi charger and an MGZS EV, which is the 44 kilowatt hour battery. So, having a look in the Sunsynk portal, March has really exceeded our expectations for the month and blown February completely out of the water. We've got one day where it wasn't reporting the data on the 4th, although the information is still there in the background. And we had our lowest generation day, which was 6.2 kilowatt hours, which was on the 22nd. But then on the final day of the month, it came in at 32.7 kilowatt hours, which was fantastic for the day. This gave us a total generation for the month of 539.3 kilowatt hours, which is fantastic. So looking on the Tigo portal for the north and south panels and how they've performed this month, the north panels have produced 66.2 kilowatt hours, with the south producing 243.6. We only had a reclaimed amount of 7.6 kilowatt hours, which is around about 3.1%. So at the moment, because the sun's still quite low in the sky, it's not quite peeking over the ridge tiles just to get enough power onto those back panels. But hopefully in April this will really start to pick up. Now taking a look at how each of the arrays have actually performed against each other. We've got the north panels coming in at 66.2 kilowatt hours for the month, which is 12.3%. The east panels have produced 229.5 kilowatt hours, so that gives us 42.6%. And the south panels have actually produced 243.6, which is 45.2% of the total output, which means our 5 south-facing panels have actually outperformed our 8 east-facing panels, which was quite interesting. Having a look at the mileage portal, and as March has been such a great month for solar, I haven't needed to top up the battery anywhere near as much as I needed to as I've been doing in February and March. As you can see, we've gone back to a more standardised routine of charging overnight, and this has given us a total charging for the month of 273.6 kilowatt hours, which adds a cost of, because it was all overnight, at 7p of £19.16. I finally remembered to reset the trip meter, so I've got how many miles we actually did this month, which was 789.2, and our average efficiency was 3.0 miles per kilowatt hour. This gives us a per mile rate of 0.024 pence per mile. So for anyone wondering about switching to an electric car and what the possible fuel savings could be, if I took my 789 miles I've driven this month, assuming 40 miles to the gallon had I bought the petrol MGZS and getting my fuel at £1.36 per litre, which is what my local Tesco's is, I would have spent £121.98 for the month. This gives me a saving of £102.82. So just in 1 year I could potentially be saving just over £1,200 a year based on these figures. Switching to electric cars, I've been driving them for 4 or 5 years now and would never go back. New car registrations are always on the increase. The SMMT have released their data for the month, and in March alone, 69,300 new electric vehicles were registered. This is a 43.2% year-on-year growth. So electric cars really are here to stay, so it is worth considering the switch. Adding in March's figures onto my table for recording the solar totals, we're now up to 892.4 kilowatt hours for 2025. So we're getting very close to 4 megawatt hours produced. So I only need over the next 3 months to produce 2,000 kilowatt hours, and I've hit my assumed target of 6,000 kilowatt hours, which will be great. So on to our usage and savings for the month. As always, our Intelligent Octopus go rate is 7 pence per kilowatt hour for the off-peak. We've got 25 pence per kilowatt hour for our peak rate. Price cap rate we're comparing this against to is 24.86 pence, and our export rate is 15 pence per kilowatt hour. So our total off-peak usage for the month was 791.3 kilowatt hours. Our peak usage was actually only 7.3 kilowatt hours. So we've really got that battery working really well, which means our off-peak usage is only 0.9%. Means our total import for the month was 798.6 kilowatt hours. And we managed to export a total of 368.3 kilowatt hours. Comparing that with our price cap rate for the 798 kilowatt hours would be £198.53. But averaging out our net bill for Intelligent Octopus Go, we paid £1.93. This gives us a saving of £196.61 for the month, which is great. So looking at the payback for the system, if we add on the savings from this month into last month's, we're now up to £600.75 saved so far in 2025 on our fuel bills. If we add that to the pie chart, we're now up to 4.8% paid back this month, which means we now have 86.2% left to pay. As you know from the last video, we're looking to get the Cosy 9 installed later on in April. We've had a couple of radiators that needed upgrading outside of the Octopus contract, which as they were the taller designer style radiators, which you can see here. And I've also got another delivery which has arrived in the last few days and is all up and running, which I'll have a video on soon. And hopefully this will get our heating bills down to as low as possible. More on this one soon. The install from Octopus starts on the 14th of April, and I'll look to try and document as much of this as I can as it goes on. So whilst March was a fairly exceptional month for solar, we still netted nearly a £200 saving for the month. Hopefully this continues and we're on for a good 5-year payback on our system. Fingers crossed, with the heat pump coming and a couple other tweaks to our system, we can still keep that 5-year payback. And I'll run through the bits and pieces that we've been tweaking to the system, which does mean a little bit extra expenditure, but I still think we can maintain that 5-year payback. I'll have a video out as soon as I can on the process of getting the quotes for heat pumps, what's involved, and I'll try and document the heat pump as it goes on a daily basis. Stick around, like and subscribe, and I'll get the videos out as soon as I can. Cheers.